North America is a land of majestic natural frontiers, where cold winds blow through snow-capped mountains and dense forests stretch on forever. Here, there exists a creature at the top of the food chain that needs no herd, no weapons, only instinct and timing. It is the grizzly bear, a symbol of quiet strength and steadfastness, not as loud as a wolf, not as mobile as a lion, but whenever it appears, it makes the whole forest stop, silent in reverence. A creature of silence, but also a reminder of the primal power of nature. In the wilds of North America, the grizzly bear Ursus arctos horribilis is a symbol of strength and tenacity. Adult males can weigh up to 800 pounds and measure about 6.5 feet long when walking on all fours, or even more than 9 feet when standing, with thick gray-brown fur and claws up to 4 inches long. Grizzly bears are one of the most ecologically impactful omnivores in the forests and grasslands of the United States. They are solitary, except during mating season or when raising cubs. A bear's sense of smell is more than 2,000 times more sensitive than a human's, allowing them to detect food from miles away. Despite their large size, bears can run at speeds of up to 35 miles per hour, faster than a horse for short distances. The Alces alces, the largest deer in North America, is a familiar resident of the Alaskan and Canadian forests. Adult males can weigh more than 1,500 pounds, with broad, blade-like antlers that can reach up to 6 feet. Though seemingly slow, moose are extremely defensive when threatened, especially during the breeding season or when protecting their calves. On a lakeshore in western Wyoming, a female moose leads her calf through the reeds in search of water. On the shore, a lone grizzly bear stalks slowly, silently. Its gaze is not one of hunger, but of opportunity. As the mother moose lowers her head to drink, the calf hesitates a few steps away. The bear inched forward, the wind in her favor, and the soft ground muffles noise. But when she is less than 30 feet away, the mother moose raises her head. Their eyes meet. The chase begins. Moose can run up to 35 miles per hour when threatened, and so can bears. But the bear doesn't intend to chase them all the way. It just wants to see if there's a chance. After a few seconds of chasing, the mother and her cub dive into deep water. The bear stops at the edge, panting. No pounce, no roar, just a test of instinct. And this time, the opportunity isn't big enough to justify the energy. Nature doesn't always demand victory. Sometimes it just asks, is it worth it to keep going? In the dense forests of southern Montana, where soft soil and thick foliage trap every footprint, an unexpected encounter occurs between two creatures with strong survival instincts: grizzly bears and wild boars. The North American wild boar, a wild descendant of the European domestic pig, is short in stature but stocky and muscular, typically weighing between 150 and 300 pounds. With its curved tusks, aggressive temperament, and lightning-fast reaction times, it is not easy prey. A hungry grizzly crept toward a wild boar, but the boar sensed it. and stood its ground. They clashed briefly before the boar escaped, leaving the bear to decide the fight wasn't worth the energy. Gray wolves, Canis lupus, are highly social predators that live in packs of 6 to 10 individuals. Each adult weighs about 80 to 120 pounds, is agile, intelligent, and has an amazing ability to coordinate. In the wild, wolves usually have the upper hand, but when they have to share territory with grizzly bears, that role can be challenged. In the woods of northern Montana, a pack of wolves has just brought down a young elk. As they enjoy their meal, the wind shifts, carrying the scent of the meat. A few minutes later, from the edge of the woods, an adult grizzly appears. It takes its time, slowly but surely approaching the other party's feast. The bear's low growl is not a threat, but a declaration of power. The wolves understand this. They do not run, but spread out in a circle, some quietly moving behind, others growling to keep their place. Tension spread across the edge of the forest, where the instinct to test limits clashed with the instinct to survive. The bear took a few more steps, crouched low, and tossed the remaining meat. A wolf charged recklessly, but the bear claws swung like lightning, slicing through the air just enough to send the message clearly. There was no need for a real fight. After a few seconds of heavy silence, the pack retreated, leaving the food to the stronger. In the wild, wisdom sometimes lies in knowing when to fight and when to retreat. In the world of grizzly bears, territory is not defined by boundaries, but by scent, claws, and habits. A rich food source, such as a salmon-filled stream or a prairie, is a prized possession that bears will try to hold on to at all costs. In early fall in Yellowstone, a nearly 700-pound adult grizzly was patrolling his familiar territory. Warning signs of trouble, fresh claw marks on a tree trunk, a strange scent in the air. Just a few hours later, the two bears clashed halfway up a hillside. There was no roar, no immediate charge. Each stood watching, its body towering over 9 feet, a display of size and strength. The slow pace, the unwavering gaze, was a ritual test of resolve. When neither would budge, the tug of war began. Not long, not violent, but fierce in every thrust. Every shoulder thrust. The goal was not to injure, but to force the other to give up. Finally, the intruder backed away, turned, and walked away. The bear initially stood on the slope, breathing heavily, then turned back down the valley. The fight ended without a roar, without bloodshed, but for the grizzly, that was enough to protect what was his. The caribou Rangifer tarandus is an iconic North American tundra animal, native to Alaska and Canada. They are notable for their annual migration, which can last more than 600 miles one of the longest mammal migrations on the continent. Adults weigh about 350 to 400 pounds, have thick fur to protect against the cold, and have unique branched antlers used for defense and mating. In late summer in the foothills of the Brooks Range, Alaska, a lone grizzly bear tracks a herd of female caribou and her calf. With a favorable wind, the bear keeps its distance, moving along the rocky slopes, watching every movement below. A weaker calf lags behind the herd. This is an opportunity. The bear attacks from the flank, cutting an angle to close the gap. When the caribou notice, they instinctively scatter. The mother turns around, trying to block the way ahead, but the calf is already in danger. The chase lasts only a few seconds. The bear accelerated, gathering strength in the final step. The cub collapsed without chaos, without a roar, just a moment of silence. A quick decision, but one that had been prepared for a long time. In the harshness of nature, survival does not come from luck. It belongs to those who know how to observe, wait, and act at the right time. The North American elk Cervus canadensis, commonly known as the elk, is one of the largest deer on the continent. Adult males can weigh between 700 and 1,100 pounds, with branching antlers that can reach up to 4 feet long. They are found in the forests and grasslands of the western United States, especially in states like Colorado, Wyoming, and Montana. In late summer, as the grass dries and elk herds move into the lowlands, an adult grizzly bear catches a whiff of a herd of elk. The wind carries the familiar scent of sweat, dirt, and the thin hairs left on the low branches. It is a prime time to try your luck. The bear moves silently along the slopes, nestling in the dense undergrowth. Below, a young elk is foraging for food, unaware that it has entered the hunting grounds of one of the most patient omnivores in the mountains. The bear accelerates at the decisive moment. The elk noticed, but it was too late. It sprang up and ran, leaping over the thick bushes. The bear chased for only a few dozen yards, then suddenly stopped, not because it was tired, but because it realized the prey was still strong, the terrain was not favorable. The chase ended in silence, but for the bear, it was not a failure. Every encounter was an opportunity to learn and adjust, like the flow of time. Not stubborn, not hasty, just at the right time, in the right place, nature will make a way. From snow-capped mountains to endless prairies, the grizzly bear is a symbol of strength and survival in the harsh natural world. Every encounter with wolves, deer, or their own kind is a test of instinct where reason and strength must balance in every breath. Bears do not hunt to destroy, but to maintain a rhythm of life passed down through thousands of generations. In that world, there is no room for haste, only calculation, patience, and precision. It is the stillness of each step that makes the grizzly bear an indispensable part of the epic of North American nature.